Pioneer Red 7, the Rane 4, there is a clear winner. Stay tuned. All right, guys, I've been using these for a little while now. The Rev 7 for a couple months and the Rane 4 for about a month now. So I got a good idea of which one I like better. Okay, here's the scoop. First of all, effects. That goes to the Pioneer. Pioneer has amazing effects. If you can put a delay, you can put an echo, and it will go forever until you want it to stop. This tails off pretty quick, and it's very light, including the reverb. The reverb in here you can make sound big and luscious and incredible. Where this, on the Rane 4, the reverb is almost non-existent. It's horrible. So hopefully they'll have a firmware update. There's a lot of effects on both of these, but a lot of the effects you're not even going to use. You might get creative and stuff like that, but if you dare to use them at a party, you're probably going to screw the party up. I'll be straight up with you. There's only a few that you're really going to use a lot, and that's reverb and echo, and any amounts of the echoes and stuff like that, and you know, flanger and all that stuff. That's fun and dandy, sounds cool, but unless you're doing some trance set, I mean, you're not really going to use that stuff that much. And I'll be straight up, the Rev 7 wins hands down, no question about it. Pioneer still is the king on the effects market. Point to Pioneer. All right, one of the big features on both of these is stems. The Rane 4 was the first unit to really incorporate stems. It's fantastic when it comes to stems. It has all kinds of creative ways to use stems. One of the things that people like is that if you hit shift, and you can hit hot cue, and then you can hit stems, and the top row will be just the hot cues, and the bottom row will be stems. But check this out. On the Rev 7, you can do that also. It's already done already. So if you, right now I have the stems to roll, which I rarely use anyhow. So I have roll, so there's all my stem controls. And my hot cues are still up here on the top panel. So up here on the top, these will be hot cues, and these will be my stem controls. So they do the same things. There's some fader controls with the stems on here that you may or may not use, but you know, Pioneer record box sucks when it comes to their software. Pioneer, they kind of screwed the pooch on it, but Serato did it right. I use the bass line all the time. I use the drums. I use different things, and it sounds so much cleaner. So on these, you could pretty much do the same thing on both of these units. This was created for stems, so close. I'll give the Rane 4 stems, but it's real close depending on how you use them. All right, sound quality. Sound quality, you get tossed. I've used them both in big nightclubs, and I've used them both at a festival setting. They both sound great. And I don't think you would be an audiophile to really hear the difference in between each of them. So don't get either one of these based on sound quality. They both sound fantastic. Faders. Faders on both of these are great. The Rane's a little light, but you can kind of adjust the tension. But you do have to take the plate off to adjust the tension. Where the Pioneer, you can adjust the tension with the dial right here. But they're great faders. Both of them are great cross faders. As far as the channel faders, the Pioneer is a little looser. The Rane 4 is definitely tighter. So depending on how you like your channel faders, that's up to you. So we'll call this a tie. Let's talk about the displays. The displays on these both suck. Let's be honest. No, actually, they're not that bad. As far as displays go, they both have all your vital information in the center. So you have your BPM, your key, you know, all that kind of stuff on both of these. You can do that both. Here you can put your logo, album artwork. So the jog displays, I will give that to the Pioneer. Now, the Rane does have other OLED displays that has information on what effects are going, what your pads, what's happening with your pads, etc. Those, I gotta be honest, I don't have 20/20 vision, but it ain't horrible vision either. I can't read those. at night. So I would just negate that's even there. Unless you're like 19 years old and you have perfect vision, you're not even going to be able to see those. The panels, if you notice that I have to put green tape on the Rane 4 just so I could tell what effects are going. So E, echo, backspin, etc. I actually have to label those with big green tape just so I could see those. So I actually negate all the little displays there. They don't really mean much. At least to me, they don't. So I will call that I will say the Pioneer has the better display because you can put logos on there. You can put album art. Waveforms are on here. Things that aren't on the Rane 4. And the amount of ways that you could change it on the Rev 7. So Rev 7 wins on the display. All right, build quality. This is a tough one. First of all, even though this looks chunkier and it has a metal faceplate, metal sides, it's actually lighter than the Rev 7, and that's probably due to the mechanical jog wheels that the Rev 7 has, it definitely is due to the mechanical jog wheels. So they both have pretty good build quality, I'm going to be honest. And I will say this, that this got a true test because I played at the Houston Rodeo last month, and I got essentially a gallon of water dumped on me. And it fell directly on my computer. It fell directly on the Rev 7. It came off of a tent top, and it fell directly on it. And believe it or not, it didn't affect this whatsoever. And I'm not talking just a sprinkle of water. I'm talking a massive amount of water fell on this, and it's still running perfectly. I don't know if I don't want to test it. I'm not sure if the Rane will be able to handle that, but I will say that did handle the water dump. The computer, my brand new MacBook Pro, did not make it. That definitely took a crap, but this kept running. So if that has anything to do with build quality, I don't know, but I don't know. I'm not going to put that one to that kind of test. So personal experience, I will say the Rev 7 has the better build quality. Okay, talking about inputs. They both have a lot of inputs. I'll pick this up. They are plugged in. This is a lot heavier, actually. You can see the inputs they have, all your classic inputs. XLR, TRS for booth. You want to hook up some turntables to it. Why you would want to do that, I don't know. They're already moving platters. But if you want to, you could do it. Has two mic inputs. One is a balanced regular mic cable. One is a XLR cable. On this unit, they both are combo XLRs. They both have dual USBs. This has inputs for 4 channels, so you can actually hook up turntables to both of these. In this situation, I like the Rane 4 better because if you do decide to hook up turntables, at least it's raised. As you can see, this was higher. This is raised to the standard turntable height. So everything will be flush right across, and I'll get a video of that. But everything is flush as far as putting turntables here, where this staggers in height compared to the turntables. So I will say I will give this one for inputs and outputs and height and connecting it to other units. I will give this to the Rane. I will say that this has a cool auxiliary way to control like an iPhone or kind of a backup system, which I did have to use in Houston, so it did come in handy. And I like the control better for that on the Pioneer. But again, inputs, outputs, I have to give it to the Rane 4. All right, let's talk about the big one, jogs. The jog wheels. The Rane 4 actually, I believe these are 8-inch jog wheels on the Rev 7, and the Rane 4 I believe are 8.5-inch. So they're a little bit bigger on the Rane 4. I do like how you could control the stop and start time on the Rev 7. And just to clarify this, the Rev 7, way better jog wheels, but you're talking apples and oranges because these are moving platters, but they feel great. When you play on them, you feel it's as close to a turntable as I've ever felt. So they feel fantastic on here. I don't like the jogs on the Rane 4. They feel, to me, some people say they feel light. To me, they feel heavy. There's no way to adjust them. And I don't know, like I'm spinning these back and I don't know, there's just a different feel. I feel if you were a cut and scratch kind of DJ, without a doubt, go for the Rev 7. you know, if jogs aren't that big a concern, go for the Rane 4 as far as jogs are concerned. They both feel okay, but I will definitely take the Rev 7. Obviously, the moving platters, they just feel great. When I'm playing, I'm like, it's just a different feel. I don't like the feel of these jogs. I don't know why. I just don't like them. Maybe it's their first jogs out, but I don't know. Some people that say they're heavy. Some people say they're light. Some people say they're just right. I don't know. I don't like them. But the Rev 7 wins on this. So the jogs, Rev 7. All right, let's talk about layout. Layout is subjective. The Rane 7, or the Rane 4 has a classic controller layout. The setup here is kind of mirrored on both sides. Long throw on the side, tempo control, you know, as well as here they're on top, which are long throw too, so more battle style. This feels like you have a S7 mixer right in the middle of two turntables. That's how it feels to me. Here it feels like there's a little bit of a mixer there, but it doesn't. It feels, I don't know. It feels a little different. This is very subjective. I'm so used to controllers having this layout, so I kind of like that. I like where the loop control is here. The loop controls are here toward your hands. I love this action on the loop control. Where here they're up high. I have noticed that I have hit instant scratch up here instead of the loop control sometimes, and I lost the whole music. The music went dead, and because they're so close to another, they're the same size button, and when I'm just flowing, I've hit it a couple times. I've done screwed up. So anyhow, that I don't know. I don't like the loop control as much as I like the loop control on here. On the as far as loop control is concerned, the Rane 4. All right, filters. Now, on the Rane 4 has a filter. It doesn't have a lot of resonance, as much as I like personally. Now, the filter is the only thing that's built into the hardware. The other effects that are on here, flanger and noise, is from the Serato software. So these are actually, when you hit the button, it actually goes right to the Serato software, just so you know. So the filter is the only thing built in. On here, the filter sounds great. I like the knob better here on the Pioneer and the Rev 7 than this one, than the Rane 4. So I definitely like the knob better on the filter. I think the filter sounds better and it's more controllable within the app. They have a desktop app where you can kind of mess with the features on here. I do like that. And you can also change the filter to other parameters. The only thing is that you have to go into the software to do it, or you have to go into the menu to do it. And it's not as quick and intuitive as the Rane. So this is a kind of a toss-up. I like the sound of the filter controls on the Pioneer better, but I like the fact that I could switch things around a little quicker on the Rane. So this one goes to the Rane. All right, here was a problem that I found with the Rane. If you notice, I have tape on here. Part of the tape is because I can't read the little screens they have on there. The other part of the tape is that the master volume control is right up top. If you have a computer under here, what I have done multiple times now, and I just had to move the computer off to the side, but I've done multiple times, if I has reached to go and hit the keyboard on the computer and my wrist would accidentally hit the volume control and jack up the volume and I start clipping and everything else. I've done that multiple occasions, especially when I first got it. So be wary of that. I don't like where the booth knob is, and this, it just, I don't know, I don't like the placement of it personally. So we're here on the Pioneer, the placement is at the very top. It doesn't move as easy. Like this moves really easy. And this on the Pioneer, on the Rev 7, the booth is here, the master is here, where here is the master, then the booth is here, right above the sampler control. I don't know, things are like in a weird spot for me. I don't know what it is, but I don't like it on the Rane 4. I like it on the Rev 7 better. I haven't ever had an issue with hitting something wrong, except for the loop control, but I had never had an issue with that on the Rev 7, but I have had multiple issues with that on the Rane 4. So this, as far as placement of knobs and buttons, I'm going to go, besides the loop control, I'm going to go with the Rev 7. Okay, as far as other features, they both have silent Q. They're operated different. Here, they actually have a dedicated silent Q button. In the software, you could make, say, like the sensor button or the slip button. You can make that into a silent Q. So they both have it. Unfortunately, this is way up here. Here, it's intuitive. So as far as that's concerned, scratch bank, all that stuff, they both have both of those features. So they both have scratch bank. They both have silent Q. Here it has on the Rev 7, you have a feature that a lot of people like called smooth echo. And a lot of people say they can't live without smooth echo. This has smooth echo. Essentially, smooth echo is when you drop the fader, you know, or the crossfader, it automatically will give you a delay or a little bit of a tail off of it, so your transitions are really smooth without having to hitting, you know, you don't have to hit any effects or anything like that. So as far as transitioning and smooth mixes and stuff like that, I was able to achieve that more on the Rev 7 than it was on the Rane, but it's probably subjective to my ears, and that's about it. Probably nobody else notices. This is more set up as a 4-channel mixer, which it is a 4-channel mixer. And this is set up as a 2-channel battle mixer. So that's also something that you have to take into consideration. All right, loading tracks. If you're loading a track off the Rev 7, it's very different than the Rane 4. I should say it's very different. It's a little different than the Rev 7. So if you're loading tracks off both of these units, they're a little bit different how you do it. Here, scroll through the tracks, then you got to hit a separate load button. Here, scroll through the tracks and just click the same button down and it loads. Kind of like the Rane 4 better in that situation. But I don't know, I'm still old school where I actually move my hand on the computer. Now in this unit, I do use this a little bit more because like I said earlier, I'm always afraid of hitting this knob here, and I hit it all the time. It just sticks up right in my hands away for some reason. I don't know why. It happens. I don't like my computer sitting way up. I have my computer sitting almost level here because I don't want to get Serato face. I don't want it blocking I play a lot of big events, and I don't want the computer blocking my face the whole time. So yeah, that's one thing. All right, guys, in conclusion, what do I think? Well, like I said earlier, these are the best units on the market, period, as far as I'm concerned. As far as weight is concerned, the Rev 7 is heavier. So if that's a concern of yours, go with the Rane 4. But the Rane 4 is also larger. It's a little bit longer. It's a little bit higher. You know, it's a little bit deeper. So it is a larger unit, but it is lighter. So it just depends, you know, apples and oranges. Effects, you got to go with Pioneer. Sorry. Rane, you're doing a good job, but you ain't there yet. So if it was up to me, what am I having more fun playing on? I guess that's the big question. I have more fun playing on the Rev 7. And everybody knows from my reviews, sometimes I love Rane, sometimes I love Pioneer. But in this situation, the platters feel so good on these. And even though this is newer, it still feels better on these. That moving platter is still something that I just enjoy playing on. I feel like I get more into it. I feel like I'm a better, I don't know, there's just something about it. I love the loop control here. There's a lot of things to love about this. You know, I don't feel that the stem control on here is going to make that big of a difference to someone that has a Rev 7 when you could put your hotkeys up here and your stem controls down here. To me, it's not that big of a deal. So I would choose Pioneer Rev 7. But I'll tell you what, let me know what you think. Leave your comments below. I don't do a lot of reviews, so I love answering your questions when I do something. Maybe I'll do more and more of these. I'll up the production, but who gives a shit? As long as you get the information. So anyhow, folks, thank you so much for tuning in. I'll see you soon.